When life feels unbearably heavy, it's easy to believe the darkness will never lift. But even the longest night hides a sunrise. This video reveals how to uncover light in your hardest moments, turning pain into strength and despair into hope. Your breakthrough begins here. Chapter 1: Why Dark Days Feel Overwhelming. There are moments in life when everything feels heavier than it should. You wake up, and even before the day begins, there's a weight pressing down on your chest. It's not always something you can point to. Sometimes it's a loss, sometimes it's stress, and sometimes it's just the quiet emptiness that creeps in without warning. Dark days have a way of making the world feel smaller, colder, and harder to move through. Why do they feel so overwhelming? Because darkness doesn't just block the light outside, it clouds the way we see ourselves. When you're in that space, even small problems look enormous. A simple task feels impossible. A single thought can spiral into a storm. It's like standing in a room where the windows are covered, and no matter how much you search, you can't find the switch to turn the light back on. The truth is, our minds are wired to focus on danger, on what's wrong. It's a survival instinct. But when life feels heavy, that instinct can turn against us. Instead of protecting us, it traps us. We replay mistakes, we imagine worst-case scenarios, and we convince ourselves that the darkness is permanent. That's why dark days feel so consuming, because they trick us into believing there's no way out. Think about how a storm works. When the clouds roll in, the sky disappears. You can't see the sun, you can't see the stars, and it feels like the storm will last forever. But storms are temporary. The sun is still there, hidden behind the clouds. The same is true for us. Even when we can't see hope, it hasn't vanished. It's waiting, just beyond the heaviness. And here's something important. You are not weak for feeling overwhelmed. You are not broken because life feels heavy. Dark days happen to everyone. They are part of being human. What matters is not pretending they don't exist, but learning how to move through them without losing yourself. Imagine carrying a backpack filled with stones. Each worry, each fear, each regret adds another stone. At first, you can handle it, but over time the weight grows and you start to stumble. That's what dark days do. They load us with invisible stones until we feel crushed. The first step to finding light is realizing that not all of those stones belong to you. Some are expectations from others, some are old memories, some are fears that never came true. You don't have to carry them all. This is where the journey begins. Understanding why dark days feel overwhelming is the key to breaking their illusion. Once you see that the heaviness is not permanent, you can start to look for the cracks where light comes through. And those cracks are always there, even if they're small. If you've ever felt trapped in that darkness, know this: you are not alone. Countless others have walked through storms and found their way back to the light. And you can too. That's why this channel exists, to remind you that even in your hardest moments, hope is possible. If this message resonates with you, take a moment to subscribe. Not just to support the channel, but to keep a reminder close at hand. Because when the next dark day comes, and it will, you'll want a voice that tells you the light is still there. Dark days feel overwhelming because they distort reality. They make us believe the weight will never lift. But the truth is, storms pass, clouds break, and light always returns. Hold on to that thought, because it's the beginning of everything that follows. Chapter 2: Simple Ways to Find Light in Hard Times. When life feels heavy, the idea of finding light can seem impossible. Yet light doesn't always arrive in grand gestures or sudden miracles. More often, it appears in small, quiet ways, moments that remind us we are still alive, still capable of hope, even when the world feels dark. One of the simplest ways to begin is to notice the smallest sparks around you. It could be the warmth of sunlight on your face, the sound of laughter from someone nearby, or even the comfort of a favorite song. These moments may seem insignificant, but they are proof that light exists, even in the middle of heaviness. Darkness convinces us that nothing matters, but noticing these sparks is the first step to breaking that illusion. Another way to find light is through gratitude. Gratitude doesn't erase pain, but it shifts perspective. When you pause to recognize even one thing you are thankful for, a friend who listens, a meal that nourishes, a memory that makes you smile, you begin to see cracks in the darkness. Gratitude is like striking a match in a pitch-black room. The flame may be small, but it changes everything. Connection is also a powerful source of light. Dark days often push us into isolation, convincing us that no one could understand. But reaching out, even in the simplest way, can remind us that we are not alone. A conversation, a message, or even sitting quietly with someone can bring comfort. Human connection is like a lantern carried through the night. It doesn't remove the darkness, but it makes the path visible. Rituals can help too. When everything feels chaotic, creating small routines gives us stability. It might be brewing tea in the morning, journaling before bed, or taking a short walk each day. These rituals become anchors, reminding us that we have control over small parts of our lives. They are steady lights that guide us through uncertainty. Another simple practice is movement. Darkness often makes us feel stuck, as if we are frozen in place. Moving your body even gently can shift that energy. Stretching, dancing, or walking outside can remind you that you are alive, that your body carries strength even when your mind feels weak. Movement is a way of telling yourself, I am still here, and I am still capable of moving forward. Creativity is another doorway to light. Writing, painting, singing, or any form of expression allows the heaviness to transform. When you create, you take what feels unbearable and give it shape. You turn pain into art, confusion into words, silence into music. Creativity doesn't demand perfection. It simply asks you to release what is inside. And in that release, light emerges. It's also important to remember that light can be found in rest. Dark days often come with exhaustion, both physical and emotional. Allowing yourself to rest is not weakness, it is healing. Rest is like letting the soil recover before new seeds grow. By giving yourself permission to pause, you create space for light to return naturally. Nature offers its own kind of light. Watching the sky change colors, listening to birds, or feeling the earth beneath your feet can remind you of cycles larger than your struggles. The sun rises and sets, seasons change, and rivers keep flowing. Nature whispers that nothing stays the same forever. Even the darkest night eventually gives way to dawn. Finally, light can be found in perspective. Dark days make us believe they will last forever, but they are temporary. Remembering that storms pass, that clouds break, and that heaviness lifts can help you endure. Perspective is like standing on a mountain and realizing the valley below is not endless. It is just one part of the journey. Finding light in hard times is not about denying the darkness. It's about learning to see beyond it. Light is not always dramatic. It can be quiet, gentle, and steady. It lives in gratitude, connection, rituals, movement, creativity, rest, nature, and perspective. Each of these is a small spark, and together they form a path forward. When life feels heavy, remember, you don't need to chase the sun. You only need to notice the candle, the lantern, the match, the dawn breaking slowly. Light is already here, waiting for you to see it. Chapter 3: Turning Dark Days into Growth. Dark days are not just obstacles, they are teachers. They arrive uninvited, heavy and uncomfortable, but within them lies the possibility of transformation. Growth often begins in places we least expect, inside the very struggles we wish would disappear. Think of a seed buried deep in the soil. It is surrounded by darkness, pressed down by weight, unseen by the world. Yet it is in that hidden place that the seed begins to change. Roots form, strength builds, and eventually it breaks through the surface to reach the light. In the same way, our darkest days can become the soil where resilience grows. Pain has a way of sharpening perspective. When life feels heavy, we are forced to slow down, to reflect, to ask questions we might otherwise ignore. What truly matters? What can I let go of? What do I want to carry forward? These questions are uncomfortable, but they are the beginning of wisdom. Darkness pushes us to examine ourselves, and in that examination, growth begins. Struggles also reveal strength we didn't know we had. It's easy to believe we are fragile until we face something that tests us. Then, step by step, we discover endurance. Each time we rise after falling, each time we take one more step when we thought we couldn't, we prove to ourselves that we are stronger than the weight we carry. Dark days become proof of our hidden strength. Another way growth emerges is through empathy. When we suffer, we understand suffering in others. Pain opens our hearts, making us more compassionate, more willing to listen, more able to connect. The heaviness we endure becomes a bridge to others who feel the same. In this way, darkness doesn't isolate us, it can unite us. Transformation also comes from letting go. Dark days often strip away illusions, showing us what no longer serves us. Old fears, false expectations, unhealthy attachments, they crumble under the weight of struggle. And when they fall away, we are left with something more authentic. Growth is not just about adding strength, it is about shedding what holds us back. Finally, dark days remind us of cycles. Just as night turns into morning, winter into spring, storms into calm, our lives move through seasons. Recognizing this rhythm helps us trust the process. We learn that heaviness is not permanent, it is part of a larger journey. Growth is not a straight line, it is a cycle of falling, learning, rising, and becoming. Turning dark days into growth means choosing to see them not as endings, but as beginnings. They are the soil, the storm, the silence that prepares us for light. And when we emerge, we are not the same. We are stronger, wiser, and more connected to ourselves and others. Darkness may feel unbearable, but it is never wasted. Every heavy moment carries within it the possibility of transformation. Growth is waiting, even in the shadows.